Hey Uplifters, if you're new here, welcome. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the post notification bell to be notified every time I upload. So I'm doing like another reaction video to Soft White Underbelly interview with this time a sex offender. I'm doing two of them because I wanted to see like from a male perspective and a female perspective, and I wanted, like, of course people know that either male or female can be a predator, can be a rapist, and all that stuff. So that's why I want to do both to see their just this is kind of really hard because like I watched this and the whole time I watched these two interviews, like it was hard. Like, it was hard to watch a survivor's interview, but this was it was hard. It was hard too. It was hard. But so this person, the male, his name is Tony, and yeah, the interviewer, I'll find out his name. Off White Underbelly, sorry. Had asked him how was his childhood. Sometimes like people can, go through things, and sometimes they have the best childhood, but then they end up, being predators. So in his case, he said his childhood was amazing. He traveled. His parents were in the entertainment business and all that stuff. But he traveled a lot, and he, the first thing he said that his child was amazing, but then he later stated that he suppressed his memories or his what happened to him when he was 12 years old. A family friend or someone that the family knew molested him at the age of 12 years old. And he later was thinking, like, he has a good heart, and he wants people to realize that everyone that is a sex offender isn't a bad person. And he has a circle of, sex offenders where they live at, and I'm guessing their society, like, them being able to, be in a community where they're accepted and people like them. So he's in that community. And, when the interviewer asked him, like, what happened in his case, like, for him to be a sex offender, he stated that he touched a 12-year-old child in a inappropriate manner. That's what he said, that he just touched a child in an inappropriate manner. And he said, like, a matter of seconds, like so it happened fast. Like, he just touched a 12-year-old, and that was that. Like, he just touched a child, like, in seconds, and that's why he was labeled a sex offender. I feel like it doesn't matter. You shouldn't touch a child at all. You shouldn't touch no one inappropriately. And he just stated that his mindset wasn't to touch a child. He kept on saying that it was for a few seconds changed his life. He even stated something along the lines of, he was going through a dark stage and his life was spiraling out of control. And that's why it happened. That's why he touched a 12-year-old child for seconds. And he even said that he's, still working on forgiving himself for what has happened, because, like, he gave an apology to the person that he hurt or touched for a matter of seconds. But, I feel like it seemed like he was talking in circles and just digging, in my opinion, like digging and making the apology not an apology. Like it would, if the person seen it that he molested, if they seen that apology, it would probably make them feel even worse. That's how I feel. Like, oh my gosh, like, not gonna get too into that. He even said that he has to find himself again because he has hurt a child. And yet again, of course, he emphasized that it was for seconds that he touched a child. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's no explanation that anyone can give why they touched a child or any of that, because, or anybody, because when you cross those lines and those boundaries, it's like there's no excuse. Your life was spiraling out of control, as he said, and he was in a dark place, and that dark place made you touch a 12-year-old child for a matter of seconds. And it seems like he was trying to minimize his action by keep saying it was seconds of touching this 12-year-old boy. I think he said boy. And he even said something that really like kind of threw me off. He was like, you know, that was a child, and I like men that, you know, are, I don't know the term that he said, like, I don't know if he said like hairy, or he like men, like he like men. I'm just like, but still, what would make you touch a child, even if it was for a matter of seconds? So that's all I got on him. So let's talk about Tracy. She's the female sex offender that I watched the interview of, and pretty much her story or her childhood was her being abused in and out of foster care, raped while she was in foster care. She like treated like a maid, a babysitter, and all that stuff. And the reason why she was in foster care is because of her dad. Her father raped her, and CPS got involved. It took her and her siblings out of the household. And she was also, during the time when she was with her mom or at her mom's house, her mom's boyfriend raped her and pretty much physically abused her brother. So all of her childhood was like abuse. That's all she knew. And she stated, I don't remember word for word of how she said it, but pretty much she wanted, like, she was like a people pleaser. She wanted to please like the man of the house. So she would rub her stepfather's feet and make sure that he was okay. And she even stated like one time when her stepfather had said something about her having his baby. So I don't know if he was still raping her at that time or not when she was talking about that, but all she knew was abuse. And she became a sex addict, and she was having sex at a very young age, maybe 12 years old. And that's like her backstory. So before she got into like, of course, details about why or how she became a sex offender, she pretty much talked about her having a son. And like, I automatically like knew that it had to be dealing with her son. Like, I just knew. And she said, I just wanted my son to love me. When she said that, I'm just like, it really took me for a I don't know, it was just like, what? Like, it took me back. She even asked her son if he would have sex with her, and he was only 8 years old. First of all, that's incest. Second of all, that's your child. Like, of course, incest is your child. He's 8 years old. It's not sex. You raped your son. And at that time, she was also still sleeping with her. She said sleeping with her father. And she was talking to a lot of people online, and one man in particular wanted her, or said something along the lines of, if you do such and such on cam with your son, I will let you come stay out here with me and all that stuff, and get you away from your father and this and that. And he pretty much was, I feel like, a predator too. And yeah, so he wanted her to rape her son on webcam while he watched the man that was online that she was talking to. And that was just like, not only are you hurting your son, but you're pretty much recording him. Like, you're recording yourself hurt your son. Like, it's hard for me to talk about, because it's just like, oh my gosh, like, how, and how she actually got time for, raping her son. And how she got, like, pretty much caught is because her son and some of his friends were at the YMCA, and they were talking about, like how kids talk about, I don't know how old he was at the time, but I'm thinking that he was probably like either a preteen or a teenager, maybe I think 12 or 13, if I'm not mistaken. And they were just talking about sex, like kids sometimes, do when they get a certain age. And she said that he was like, I've had sex. And of course, like, his friends like, no, you didn't, like, you're lying. And he said, I had sex with my mom. And he thought that it was normal that what him and his mom was, it was normal that what him and his mom was doing. And thankfully, his friends went into an adult, and that's how Tracy got arrested for what she did to her son, which, that's a good thing. I mean, yeah. But her son molested a child when he was 13 years old. And I don't know the detail of that or whatever. But yet again, there's generations of incest, rapists, and all that. And it's just mind blowing. She said, like, she hates herself. She still sees herself as a monster. She did not. I didn't say this before, but when she went to prison, she did 9 years. She was the victim and the predator, which is just like, and I don't know, like, the statistics on it, but the statistics are like, if you are raped, molested, it's a chance that you can become a rapist. And I don't, like, how is somebody's mind, like, I know what I went through, and I know how it hurt me, and I'm still hurting, and I'm still trying to heal from it. How can I hurt someone else? That's my mindset on it. I don't get it. I really don't. But she stated, like, I mean, of course, she knew. She said, not everybody that's been molested becomes one. Yeah, that's not the case for everyone. And I just, it makes my blood boil how people can do that to anybody, but your kid, and you know firsthand how it feels. She said she has nightmares about what has happened, like her childhood and all that stuff, and she says the nightmare starts with my father and ends with me. I mean, like, her father was the monster, and now, like, she's the monster. Like, she became something and someone that she didn't want to be. She became her father. And she had multiple suicide attempts because of, like, what she been through with her father, and, like, how she ruined her, pretty much ruined her son's life. Yeah, she stated that her son is married and stuff like that, but they talk, but they don't talk, and it's just a lot. And I felt like he was more open than Tony, and I feel like Tony, I'm not comparing the two, but at the same time, like, I wanted to do these, like, two, like, female and male sex offender. Tony minimized his situation. He didn't say much, but it's like Tracy owned up to the fact of what she did. But at the same time, it's like, you still did that. And I don't know. I don't have any words. I don't have any words for either of them. But of course, the interviewer, like, he does a great job with interviewing these people, and he lets them talk. He's not like, oh, this and that. Acts like he's very nice, and I give him that, because me personally, I don't know how I would be interviewing a sex offender that, But thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.